Alright, Shalom, Shalom. Shabbat Badia from YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, AHBAD. I'm Prophet of the Service, St. Petersburg, Florida. DMS Tampa Bay 12. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh, by SHAM, YAHWASHI, by SHAM, Barakah, Kodash. Double honors to my elder apostles at Great Millstone who rule well. Single honor salutation to all your sincere brothers. Peace and bless to the 1/3, and peace and bless to the confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth. Shalom, peace and blessings be unto you all. I usually don't really touch on Trump. I really don't give this dude any of my energy. But this is just a topic that I wanted to touch on. Pretty much going in on quote unquote Trump's racist tweets, and a couple of individuals had something to say about it. But before I go any further, I'm just gonna open up with the title of this article. CBS Philly says Mayor Kinney, if Donald Trump ever has to go back where he came from, he's going to have to go to hell. All right, and he's speaking in a Roman Catholicism standpoint, but we know that hell isn't a place. We know that hell is actually a condition. Okay, it tells you in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, that under the sun they saw the place of judgment. So heaven and hell is not a place that you go to. It's a condition that's played out here on earth. Though heaven is actually a physical place, because when you look up into the sky, that's also known as the heavens. Okay? Because Paul said he went to the 3rd heaven, where the Most High dwells at. But nonetheless, though, this individual here, Mayor Kinney, he made a couple key points here I want to touch on really quick. And it says, Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kinney had strong words for President Donald Trump following the backlash the president has received after tweeting that 4 Democratic congressmen women should go back to their home countries. Kinney said that Trump would have to go to hell if he ever went back where he came from. I found that rather comical. And it clicked that. I found that rather comical, coming from an Edomite telling another Edomite that. Because really, your hell was living in the caves. You understand that? You were living in the Caucasus Mountains. And I'm going to bring out a precept to prove that really quick. So now I'm going to go into the book of Job, which you all are familiar with. Now this is Job. Bear with me, so yeah. This is Job 30. Let me start from the top. 30 and 1. This is Job speaking about Esau, Edom. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Because you know what Esau do when he's with dogs by himself. They do very heinous things, you know. They'll put peanut butter on their testicles and let the dog lick the peanut butter off the testicles. I'm just being frank with you right now. They kiss their dogs all in their mouth. Hell, Esau will even commit bestiality and sleep with their dog. I've seen Edomite women have testimonies on the internet talking about how much they love their dog. Then that's their mate. That's what Job was talking about. Verse 2, yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing unto the wilderness, on former time desolate and waste. Going back to the time of King David as well. Who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men, they cry after them as after a thief. Here's the point. They dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. That's why when you fill out a job application, they always ask you what's your race. They have African American, I'm just going to say it, Hispanic, non-Hispanic, Hawaiian, Native Americans, and lo and behold, they have the Caucasian. When you break down the word Caucasian, literally means cave dweller. Because the word Caucasian, it go back to the Caucasus Mountain. All right, and Asia goes back to the Asian Minor part, the western part of Asia, so to say. And if you're living in a mountain, you can't literally live on the side of a mountain. It's steep, and you just roll down to the bottom and die if you hit a rock or something. You have to live inside the mountain. What's inside of a mountain? Caves. So you would be going back to hell if you was to go back to where you originally come from with your people. All right. So you should not be the first one telling anyone where they need and should go. Verse 7. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. And whenever they always depict the caveman saying that was the first man on earth, they're talking about from the time that they came out of the caves prior to the Renaissance era. For 1,000 years, dark people known as the Moors, who are the Israelites, ruled Europe for 1,000 years. Okay, after Septimius Severus took down Rome. And then you had the Byzantine Empire, which had the west and the east. I forgot the names of the countries where you had Constantine and Constantinople, which would be the center, the city, I believe, which were actually Israelites. Okay. So now that that's been established, verse 8. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And it's a book by Arthur Koestler called The 13 Tribe. There are documentation in there from an Ishmaelite saying that they will wear their clothes till it disintegrated. They will pick lice out of each other's hair and eat it and crunch on it and say delicious. You know, the men and women will have urination, will have urinal residue, defecation or shit for you who don't know what defecation is, and seminal and vaginal fluids on them, and they didn't even touch the water. Like, all this is documented in that book, and that man and his wife wound up dead in their bed some years ago. So this goes to show you that, yeah, well, if you had to go back to where you came from, you would be living in hell in the caves of the Caucasus Mountains. But then, how? For one, you fulfill this prophecy right here. So you stole the land because the land you're living on was already inhabited since 722 BC. That goes back to when Shalmaneser brought the Northern Kingdom over here. Where do you think you get the Aztecs, the Incans, and the Mayans from? You mean to tell me that people was not living here for centuries? I'm sorry, millenniums before Cristobal Colon stumbled upon the Hispaniola, and then you had the Spanish conquistadors that went and subjugated the whole South, Central America, and North America. Where you got a word America from Amerigo Vespucci, a Latin navigator. Okay, you on stolen land, but that's the pride of Esau. Your pride has deceived thee. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And that goes back to Job 9:24. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked, so they can write any legislation that they want. It's in the power of their hand. All they have to do is stroke. Your life can be changed by the stroke of a pen, because Esau has the power in his hand, because the Lord has given them the earth and has given them dominion. Romans 13:1. The powers to be are ordained by the Most High. Esau has been ordained by the Most High to rule over us. Why? Because we fell short from fulfilling our part of our contract, which is what? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Verse 2. And they covet fields, so America, right? And take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. So this is a prime example of an individual who's full of pride and has no dignity really about himself. If you don't like our country, go back to where you're from. Last time I checked, your wife was an immigrant. How come you want to deport her? How come you want to deport her? If you're not, and I'm just gonna say this in layman terms, because Jake been coming to America since King Solomon time. If you are not so-called Native American or of the Spanish-speaking tribes, you are an immigrant. I don't care if you came here on the Mayflower. I don't care if you flew here. I don't care if you got dropped off here in a rocket from a space shuttle. You are an immigrant if you are not a so-called Native American or Spanish-speaking individual. Okay? So now Trump is sitting here telling them to go back to where they come from. This is the pride of Esau Edom the double. But I want to pull out a little something that Trevor Noah said that had me laughing a little bit. It's funny. It go to show you, man, that Esau is double-minded. He's double-minded and he don't know what he's saying. This is Trevor Noah wants to know why Trump didn't take his own advice about leaving the country. He had me rolling. Trevor Noah is a little confused by President Trump's demand that people who hate our country pack their bags and move away. He admitted in Tuesday's Daily Noah. I said Daily Noah, Daily Show. Noah Trevor, he's a comedian from South Africa. I believe from South Africa. I know you're from Africa, though. In 2016, Trump's entire message was, America is falling. This country's not what it used to be. China's beating us, Noah said. Instead of complaining, why didn't he just leave? So he had me rolling right there, Yeah, he goes on to say, Trump on Sunday tweeted that 4 Democratic lawmakers, all women of color, need to go back to their home countries, and claimed on Tuesday that it wasn't racist because he would tell anyone who was not happy here that they are free to leave. And like you said, why he didn't take on your advice? Now listen to what he said. How come he's never said anything like this to Bernie Sanders? Noah asked. The senator from Vermont is always talking about how the United States can learn from other countries. But Trump has never told Bernie to go back where he comes from. I guess that's partly because ancient Greece doesn't exist anymore, but that's not the point. So, he was just making some good points and had me laughing though. But listen, America's going to be destroyed. America's the mystery whore Babylon. There's nothing you can do for her. So it don't matter where you go, the judgment of the Lord is going to come upon all the earth. All right. So it don't matter if you don't like it here. It don't matter if you don't like it in China. It don't matter there are protests. It's protests in Hong Kong, protests in France. It's protests all over the world. You want to know why? It's not because it's because the Esau Edom is ruling the world. It has nothing to do with America. The reason why all this turmoil is happening because Esau won't keep his fucking face out of other people's lands, man. Okay? He's a proud man that neither sitteth at home. That's Esau Edom. Alright? So, if anything, you just need to be eradicated off the earth and everything will be in unison with us ruling in harmony with YAHAWASHI. Like I said, I don't too much talk on this food, but I just wanted to touch on it because I thought it was kind of comical how Esau be quick to say, go back the way you came from, when these devils won't even acknowledge that they stole this land from the Native Americans, the Gadites, the Reubenites, and not even go as far as the Taino and Arawak Indians. You stole this land after they greeted you with gifts. Whew. Man. Anyways, before I close out, I got one more precept real quick. This is Isaiah. I believe it's Isaiah. Bear with me. Now, this is my closeout precept. Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled. You robbed, but no one tried to rob you. Open arms, right? And dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. Cristobal Colon told you in his diary. He said they'll make good slaves. Why? Because our people was over friendly. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So just keep that in mind, Esau Edom. You have a date to meet your maker, and also a date to when the rabbit's going to have the gun. Nonetheless, I pray you will edify. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahawashi, Ba'ashim, Chakadash, the water for keeping the spirit of edification upon me. Like I always say, Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent. Kwam Yasha Allah, Muafla Babal, Shalom.